Good day, everybody. Here we are for a proof pull. This is the only broadcast I'll be doing prior to the auction this evening, and then I'll be leaving early tomorrow morning for Florida to help out with some hurricane cleanup. How's everybody doing today? I want to make sure that I have more people in studio before I have the opportunity to get started here. I kind of scheduled this on the fly, but I didn't have an opportunity to do otherwise. I have been really busy trying to get your packages ready to go for this week, and have not yet completely gotten there yet. I'm working on it, though. Let's see who all's here. Anybody out there want to say hello? There's Ronald. There's Mr. Ronald. How you doing, buddy? Let's see who is... Looks like we're the only two. I'm doing great, Ronald. Ready for my trip tomorrow, I think, to go take care of cleaning up after a hurricane. Looks like a big job ahead of us, but that's okay. We'll get it all figured out. There's Otis. Hello, Otis. Angie, I can get you in if you want in. I can get anyone in who has not already gotten there because I haven't actually started the pool yet. So if you want in, you need to let me know now, and I will get you in. Tonight's auction at coppercoins.com/auction. Should be right there. Anybody want in on this pool who has not yet gotten in can let me know now before I get started. I'm going to start it in about 5 or 10 minutes if nobody speaks up. If anybody speaks up, let me know now that you want in, and I will manage to get you in the proof pull here. Let's see. Be able to tell you what I sold them for. I can't remember. $3.50 per coin. $3.50 per coin. That's what I can get you in for. Do it right now before we get any further along. Once I start pulling, I can't add you in. I can only do it before we start pulling. Dennis, you already have 2. Did you want 2 more? Okay, Gold Dog wants in for 3. Hang on a second. Let me get my sheet ready here so that I can get you started up here. Let's see. All right. Insert some lines so I can get this going. Don't want any more. Okay. I got you in for 2 already, Dennis. You've got 2 chips in the bag right now. Okay, Angie wants 2. I'll get her in for 2. Anything that I'm collecting here on this today will go toward the trip to go down and help out the hurricane victims. Gold Dog would like 3. What? Did I not have him? Guess I don't have him on the sheet here. It's okay, though. I'll get that added. Yeah, she can get up to 10 apiece. Otis, I can get you in for 3. I'll just have to go get your chips ready. Ronald, I got you in for 10, I believe. If anybody else wants involved, let me know. Anybody else wants in on this at $3.50 per coin. We've got these bonuses. We've got extra coin bonuses. We've got 3 of them today. And we have 2. See, I got to get this stuff moved over because my camera... Well, here's the deal. I started a new version of the broadcast software that I use, and they decided to take out the possibility of using cell phones as cameras. So now I'm merely working on trying to get something that works. Ronald, if you already got 10, I can't put you in for another one. Can only do 10 per person. I do believe you've already got 10 in this. Let me check. Let's see. Yes, I put 10 in for you a few days ago. This is the same quarter pull that we have already sold. And I'm about to cut it off now. If anybody else wants in, let me know now before I get started. Hello, Bo. I've got openings for the quarter pull right now if you want in. Richard needs to hurry home from the store. There we go. I have openings now if you want in. You do, Boo. They're $3.50 per quarter. These are all proof quarters. It's all proof quarters. From the 70s on up, $3.50 per coin in a quarter pull. You have a coin buying problem. Okay, Bo Palmer wants in for 10. And I'll get you billed this evening when we do the auction. We've got an auction coming up. It's going to be, right now it's 3:37 p.m. Eastern Time. The auction's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The list is out there already at coppercoins.com/auction. Got a number of great coins coming up tonight for auction. All inexpensive, however, I want you to buy them up as much as you possibly can because, well, all of this money is going to help hurricanes victims from Ian. I'll be leaving at about 4 o'clock in the morning for Florida. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and close it off now and go ahead and get the chips ready for the remainder of the people who wanted in today. Inevitably, someone else will come in, so let me go ahead and get these chips ready, and then I'll be right back. Okay, here I am. Hello, Roger. Sue Smith, I can only put you in if you're already registered with us. I can't do this. I can't register you and get you ready for this in time. I appreciate the effort, however. Roger, if you want in on this pull, This is a quarter proof pull. You need to let me know now so I can get you in. So I've got 2 for Angie. I've got a full 10 for Bo. That is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Yes. I've got 3 for Otis. 3 for Otis going in the bag. 3 for Gold Dog going in the bag. Okay, Roger, they're $3.50 per coin. How many would you like, sir? I'll get you in right now. Yes, that is true, Angie. If you send us an email, coppercoinspayments@gmail.com, I can get you in for the auction this evening. Got a lot of stuff coming up in the auction today. Hang on, Roger, let me get your chips. And there's 5 for Roger. Okay. It looks like probably all we're going to get in for now. I appreciate it. Nope. Get these back in the bag. Okay. And so this is a proof pull. What we're doing here is pulling proof coins out of a box. These happen to all be quarters. And yes, they are all clag quarters. And they will go into the other box with a poker chip that belongs to all of the people involved in the pull. I have 3 bonus pulls. A bonus pull, when I pull the bonus chip, the next person's name I pull out. I pull 2 coins instead of 1. And then I have the $10 bonus chips, the $10 bonuses. I pull a coin for you, but you get a $10 certificate good for use anytime at Copper Coins Auctions. All right. And there we go. Okay. I get this bag a good shake. Get everybody mixed in real well. And I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the first chip. The first chip will go to Stanley. Stanley will get, what is this one? North Dakota. North Dakota proof quarter. All of the faults that you see on these are on the plastic and not the coin. Okay, here we go. Next up, Ronald Magany gets, this one's a Guam quarter, 2009 Guam. Okay, next up, Stanley again. Stanley. Ooh, how about Nevada? Really nice looking design. I like that one. Next up, let's see. We've got Kelly Michaud. Kelly Michaud. And this one is U.S. Virgin Islands. Virgin Islands proof quarter. And here we go. All right, let me get one that will actually hold. Phone call. Hang on just a moment. I left my phone on just in case I got people calling who I need to speak with. Let me put it on vibrate and stick it in my drawer here so I can see it and you won't hear it. All right, next up. Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher, I have a Kansas state quarter for you. Mr. Fletcher. Yeah, let's see. Who is next? Next up, Gold Dog. Gold Dog will get... This one is a Northern Mariana Islands. This is one of the territory quarters from 2009. Special set they came out with is kind of an afterthought to the Statehood quarter program. They thought they were going to stop with 50 states, and then somebody got the wise idea that they needed to put District of Columbia and Puerto Rico in there, and somebody else said, well, how about Guam? And then Samoan Islands and Virgin Islands and all those other territories kind of got involved, and we ended up with an entire year of U.S. territories quarters, and that was 2009. Here is Puerto Rico, part of the 2009 series. Got a hair sitting on top of there. If you ever get any hairs or, dryer lint or anything else, it's absolutely free. I don't charge anything extra for that. Here's Penny Hoarder, and Penny Hoarder gets, looks like a 1987 proof quarter, 1987. That's for Penny Hoarder. Let's see. Crispy with his well-worn chip shows he is a veteran at these games. District of Columbia, D.C., Duke Ellington quarter. Next up, Paul Hampton, Nevada Statehood quarter, 1864. Right during the Civil War, they were added to the Union. Gold Dog. Gold Dog is next now. A little bit of center toning on this one, a little bit of copper color on this buffalo here for the Kansas State quarter. Let's see who I pull out next. Wanda. Wanda comes next. Wanda gets an American Samoa. And actually, the people from there, they don't pronounce it Samoa, they pronounce it Samoa. American Samoa. Let's see what's next. Who is next? Taco John with a well-worn. That was actually during a time that my toner was not exactly working properly. Here is North Dakota. North Dakota with buffaloes or bison again. And next up, Kelly Michaud again. Kelly Michaud. How about Guam? Got Guam. Next, Sireg. Sireg pulls American Samoa. Next up, Bo Palmer gets Puerto Rico. If you guys get any duplicates in these, and let me know that you want to eliminate duplicates, I can do that prior to mailing them to you. Malcolm pulls 1993 proof quarter. All right, next up, Adam Chambers, also known as Coins and Ghouls. He's going to get a first year, or actually second year, 2000 Virginia Statehood quarter. Very difficult word there, quadricentennial, meaning 400 years. Here's one from Mary. And Mary pulls a bicentennial, 1976 bicentennial proof quarter. Here's up next. And that's how this game goes. Now we're going to start drawing some winners here before too long. Here's Stanley with the New River Gorge Bridge in West Virginia, 2005. Next up, Mr. Fletcher. Angie, do you want more spots? Iowa. It's a little church in the snow with Iowa. Foundation in Education. I guess it's a school, not a church. Let's see. Who's next? Ronald? Ronald gets a U.S. Virgin Islands. U.S. Virgin Islands. And next up, Carl. Carl? I think this one's South Carolina. Yep, South Carolina, year 2000. It's a state right below me. I'm going to be driving through South Carolina in the morning. I do have something to say about the auction for this evening. Now, these coins right here are going to go out with the present mail. Oh, there's a Maryland state quarter, and I forgot to pull a name. Mary. Mary gets Maryland. How about that? Mary from Maryland. I am going to finish the auction this evening. I will not be doing any of the reveal broadcasts prior to returning from Florida. I also cannot mail tonight's auction prior to returning from Florida, so expect the mail to run now. Next week will be Columbus Day, so expect the mail to run out of here. There's North Dakota for Taco John. Expect the mail for tonight's auction to leave here next Tuesday. Hey, there's a $10 bonus. Who gets the $10 bonus? $10 bonus goes to Richard Sappington. Richard Sappington also gets a quarter, and that quarter is a Guam, 2009 Guam. Let me write Richard's name here on a sticky. And that is going to go on the $10 chip, and I will get him entered in the sheet for bonuses. Okay, I get it. I understand, Angie. No worries. Here's one for Malcolm. Coming up for Malcolm is a Kansas state quarter. Kansas Statehood quarter for Malcolm. And there's for Malcolm. And now, Crispy. Crispy gets American Samoa. American Samoa for Crispy. Coming up next, Otis. Otis will get a North Dakota quarter, 2006 issue. Folks, don't forget we do have an auction coming up this evening where you can use these bonus chips. Ones who get the $10 bonuses be able to use them toward the auction this evening. Here's Malcolm. Malcolm gets Guam. Got a Guam for Malcolm. And next up, Mary. What does Mary get? South Dakota. South Dakota with the pheasant and Mount Rushmore. And coming up next is Sureg. Sureg gets 2005 Minnesota Statehood quarter, land of 10,000 lakes. Minnesota. All right, here's Ronald. Ronald comes up next with a 1.5 by 1.5 holder with a 1977 proof quarter, 1977 proof. And that's for Ronald. Let's see what comes up next here. Richard. Richard, how about New Hampshire Statehood quarter, the old man of the mountain who fell not too long after this quarter was issued, so it is no longer there. Now let's see. Oh, we got a bonus. Somebody's going to get 2 coins instead of 1. And here is your person that gets 2 coins instead of 1. Otis. Well, Otis's first coin is going to be a Virginia Statehood quarter. And his second coin is going to be American Samoa. American Samoa. That's for Otis, and the bonus chip goes out. And next up is Roger. Roger gets a 1979 quarter. 1979 was issued in two different versions. You had a Type 1 and a Type 2. This one appears to be a Type 1. Type 2 had a clear S. Not a whole lot of premium for those, but they are a little more scarce. Here's one for Bo. What does Bo get this time? How about West Virginia, the New River Gorge Bridge, place where I was recently. 2 weeks ago I went there. Or less than 2 weeks ago, I guess. Here's one for Gold Dog. Gold Dog will pick up Iowa. Got Iowa for Gold Dog. And next up, Penny Hoarder. Penny Hoarder gets a Massachusetts statehood quarter with the Minuteman on there. The Bay State, Massachusetts. Let's see, what's next? Next up, Stanley. Stanley gets South Carolina. South Carolina statehood quarter. You can build a full set of the 50 states, and you also can do all 50 states and then some, and then all 50 states and then some for the National Parks quarters, which are now also complete, I believe. It says Maryland for Penny Hoarder. Let's see what we have next. Next up, Bo Palmer again. Bo this time, the nice toned Nevada state quarter. This one has a little bit of a copper color to it. That's toning from how it was stored or where it was stored. Here's one for Ronald. Ronald, Kansas state quarter. Now let me know if you want me to eliminate duplicates, and I will be sure and write that down and eliminate duplicates for you. Otherwise, you'll get what I've drawn. Carl now with a Minnesota state quarter. Minnesota statehood. I am mailing these out to, well, I'm getting them ready today, but they're going to be leaving here tomorrow. Wanda. Now Wanda gets American Samoa. American Samoa. Let's see, who's next? Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher, 1993. 1993 statehood quarter. Or not statehood. 1993 Washington quarter. Sorry. Thinking of these aren't statehood, and then I said statehood. Oh, here's Mr. Fletcher again. Mr. Fletcher, this time will get a 2009 Duke Ellington District of Columbia quarter. Let's see what we have next. Next out comes Crispy Mofo. Crispy will get a 1985 state quarter. Heck, that's before I was out of high school. Let's see here. Okay. Everybody put in here, right? There we go. Everybody tilted and leaning in proper direction. Now, let me shut the focus off on this camera. Configure video. Camera control. Autofocus off. Okay. Now it won't make you sick anymore. No more car sick focusing. There we go. Whoops. I held in my hand the entire time that was going on this $10 chip and didn't even notice it. So who is going to get? I can do that, Gold Dog. No problem. I think you have a box already going out, though, that this is on the sheet for that box. Ah. I have a call coming in I have to take. Sorry, folks. I'll be right back. Sorry, folks, having a minor family issue right now. Sorry, I had to take that little break and take a phone call. Okay, so we've got a $10 chip, and that one belongs to Sureg. So I will put Sureg's name on that chip, and now we'll pull another coin for him. This one is Washington State. Okay, that's for Sureg. Eric is doing okay. He said that he was going to try to pop in for a little while during the auction this evening, but I'm unsure as to whether or not we will be able to get him in the show. His internet is still a little bit wonky, but he might make it in. Okay, Malcolm. It's Iowa. Iowa from Malcolm. Next up, Roger. Roger gets U.S. Virgin Islands. U.S. Virgin Islands. Next up, I have Bo, Mr. Bo Palmer. How about a 2006 Nevada quarter for Bo? Nevada Statehood quarter for Bo. Next up, Ronald. Ronald gets a North Dakota Statehood quarter. North Dakota. And next up, oh, we got Ronald again. Ronald now gets Nevada. Nevada for Ronald. Next in line will be Bo Palmer again. Bo, U.S. Virgin Islands. Didn't you just get a U.S. Virgin Islands? No, that was Nevada. Who got the U.S. Virgin Islands? That was Roger. Okay. So kind of coming out in bit of chunks. They're kind of hard to sort out when you've got 30 or 40 different quarters. It's kind of hard to sort them real well. Okay, for Deanne. Deanne, American Samoa. Some of the more sought after quarters are the ones that are showing up in this because, well, I had a number of them. Now Malcolm. Kansas. Kansas quarter for Malcolm. Next up, Mary. Mary gets D.C. Duke Ellington. District of Columbia, Statehood quarter. Next for Bo. American Samoa comes up again. It's time for Bo. Next up, Malcolm. 1988 for Malcolm. 1988 proof quarter. Now for Adam. South Carolina. South Carolina. That's for coins and ghouls. Next, Mary. And this time, Virginia. Virginia Statehood quarter. How about Bo again? Bo this time, it's 1985. 1985 proof quarter. Now Roger. Roger this time, Washington State. That salmon jumping up out of the water. I think that's Mount Olympus, I think. Or Olympia, Mount Olympia. I don't know what specific mountain that is. Could be Rainier too. Stanley. Stanley Zolkowski picks Massachusetts. Massachusetts Statehood quarter. Wanda. Wanda gets South Carolina. South Carolina. Now Carl. Carl picks up an Oregon state quarter. This is Crater Lake. Next is Penny Hoarder. Penny Hoarder gets Nevada. Hang on just a minute. Let me shut my door. Okay, I'm back. Let's see, who's next? Richard. Richard? Well, we have another North Dakota. North Dakota Statehood quarter. That one's for Richard. Next up, Wanda. Wanda? Here's Nevada. Nevada for Wanda. See what comes up next. Taco John and a well-worn Taco John. The U.S. Virgin Islands. Next is Adam again. And Adam this time with the Kansas Statehood Quarter. I know Adam drives through Kansas a lot. Let's see. Kelly Michaud. Kelly Michaud. 2009. Virgin Islands. Yep, the chips hit the table. No one has cards. Their cards are coins. Everyone has cards. They're coins. Ronald. Ronald comes up with 1976 Bicentennial Quarter. This is in the plastic, I do believe. There's Ronald. Next up, Richard. How about a Minnesota Statehood Quarter for Richard? Building up Taco John now. Taco John with the 2003 Maine Statehood Quarter. Now, Crispy. Crispy with a Virginia Statehood Quarter. This one has some toning on it, a little bit. Next up, Malcolm, Washington State. Washington State. And next up is going to be Carl. Carl gets a really nice bluish toned Bicentennial Statehood Quarter. And next up, Penny Hoarder. Penny Hoarder with West Virginia and the New River Gorge. It's beautiful country up there. All right, Deanne. Deanne is next. Deanne gets a Washington State. Washington. And next up, Taco John. Taco John this time with Massachusetts. Massachusetts. Boy, we still got a lot of people. Taco John again. Taco John this time. U.S. Virgin Islands. Now Mary. I got West Virginia, New River Gorge. Next up, Dennis Paulson. Dennis Paulson gets Maryland. Let's see what we have coming up here. Next up, Taco John again. Taco John, this time, North Dakota. Got that goldish, copperish toning on there. And Mary. Mary up next, U.S. Virgin Islands. Pretty one. Flowers and birds and palm trees. Reminds you of all the good days in the Virgin Islands, not the hurricane times. There's South Dakota for Penny Hoarder. South Dakota Quarter. Next up, Kelly. Kelly Michaud. Well, let's see. Looks like Kansas. Bison Quarter. Sunflower there next to the bison. That's the state flower of Kansas. Who do we have next? Well, there's Kelly Michaud again. Hey, Coin Dragon. Kelly Michaud this time. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Stanley Zukowski gets a 1978 proof quarter. 1978. And next up, Bo Palmer. Bo, Kansas. Kansas Statehood quarter. Don't forget, folks, the list is up. coppercoins.com/auction for the auction coming up this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a lot of fun with a big auction. A lot of stuff. Coins from the Brian Allen collection. Brian is the author or co-author of Strike It Rich with Pocket Change. There's an Arkansas quarter. Arkansas for Adam. I don't know. I wasn't watching Coin Dragon. I'm kind of in hurricane mood now. I don't care much about football these days. Football is a good pastime when I'm not worried about the better being of a lot of my friends. Got Virginia. And speaking of that, all proceeds from tonight's auction will go to Florida in helping the victims of the hurricane, including friends of mine plus family. 1971 for Richard. 1971 proof quarter. Oh, so the Steelers lost again. Okay. Well, season's pretty much done for me anyway. So here's Carl. And Carl will pick up West Virginia. The West Virginia Statehood quarter. Next up, Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher gets a Washington State quarter. Washington State. That's a fiber sitting on top of the plastic there. Next up, Dennis. And so get the first coin in my next row here. And that will be a District of Columbia, D.C. quarter, Duke Ellington. And next, for Taco John, we have Nevada. Anybody who wants me to remove duplicates from any of the quarters that I draw for them needs to let me know so that I can do so. You let me know now or send me an email, either way. Here's a bonus. Next person's going to get 2 coins, and 2 coins will go to Stanley. Stanley will get not only this Kansas Statehood quarter from 2005, but also a 2009 American Samoa with a free hair. All right, that would go with Stanley, and the bonus chip gets pulled. What do we got next? Malcolm? How about DC? Duke Ellington. All right, next up, Kelly. Kelly Michaud. How about Guam? I think Kelly's gotten pretty much all the different territory quarters from 2009. And next up, well, here's Kelly again. And Kelly with U.S. Virgin Islands. I think that's a duplicate for Kelly. I think. I'm pretty sure it is, actually. All right, let's see what's next. Paul Hampton. South Dakota. South Dakota for Paul Hampton. Next up, Adam Chambers. Adam, what do we got here? Montana. Montana, big sky country. I feel like a spokesperson for the Travel Bureau. Come to Montana, big sky country. They need somebody like Sam McDonald, Sam whatever his name is for that one. Jim Fletcher, 1991. 91 for Mr. Fletcher. Wanda, how about a Duke Ellington, Washington, D.C. for Wanda? And Otis is next up with a 1968 proof, 1968. Next up, Sureg. Sam Elliott, that's the name. Come on up to Montana, right? Sureg is a West Virginia quarter. West Virginia for Sureg. Yeah, I can't measure up to Sam Elliott, his voice. Morgan Freeman or any of those other guys who do really good voices. Stanley. Well, Stanley's here with an Iowa. An Iowa quarter for Stanley. Oh, coin junkie. You got Carl now. Carl back in with a Massachusetts state quarter. Massachusetts. And next up, I'm going to move over to this box. Start working in that box. Ronald. This one's got some, it's a South Carolina, and it's got some toning. Copper-colored toning. Next up, Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher with a Maryland state quarter. Maryland statehood. Let's see who's next. Maryland was one of the first 13 colonies. Got Penny Horder next. Penny Horder with Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia. And Wanda now. Wanda? We have a full screen over here. Oops, what did I do? Hang on a second. Okay, yeah, I've got a full screen. And Wanda gets Guam. Guam, I believe she may already have that one. Let's see here. Crispy now. Crispy. Well, here's another U.S. Virgin Islands. I didn't realize there were so many of these territorial quarters in this lot. How about Roger? Roger up next. Roger gets South Dakota. South Dakota statehood quarter. It's 2006. Became a state in 1889. Let's see what's next. Well, we got a bonus. Got a bonus, and who does the bonus go to? Crispy. So Crispy not only gets a Montana state quarter, but he also gets a 1992 proof quarter. So there's a Montana plus a 1992 for Crispy. And my bonus moves out. Next up, Wanda. Well, the next coin is Duke Ellington, District of Columbia. I think that is a duplicate for Wanda. So I will pull that for her. Malcolm next. Malcolm with West Virginia. West Virginia for Malcolm. And next up, Penny Horder, State of Washington. Got Washington. And next up, Paul. Paul Hampton, U.S. Virgin Islands. U.S. Virgin Islands for Paul. Get this out of here and put this other one in. Fits better. There we go. Next up, Kelly Michaud. Kelly Michaud, South Carolina. South Carolina. Next up, Kelly again. This time Maryland. The Old Line State. Mason-Dixon line. Jim Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher with Guam. Roger, the double die doesn't come on the proofs. Good thought, but the double die doesn't come on the proof coins. Angie with a 1977 proof quarter. 1977 for Angie. And up next, Malcolm. How about a 2002 Louisiana? 2002 Louisiana. Penny Hoarder. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Yeah, I believe those are on Philadelphia Mint quarters. Richard. 1978. 1978 proof. Mary. Virginia. That was a little milky. Let me give her another one. How about 1980? 1980 with a little hair on top of the plastic. I just wiped it off for you. All right, next up. Crispy. Crispy. Ooh, nicely toned Iowa. You gotta see the color on this. It's got some nice color. Let's see, who's next? Wanda. Wanda again with a South Carolina now. South Carolina. Oh, Stanley. Mr. Zolkowski picks up California. California Statehood quarter. Next in. Well, Wanda. I'm going to skip the next coin. And she'll get Nevada. The next coin was another DC quarter. Got a lot of those DC quarters in there, and I'm not really sure why. Penny Hoarder. Penny Hoarder picks up Kansas. Kansas for Penny Hoarder. Next is Carl. Carl. I'm going to skip this one. It's got a big black spot on it. Carl picks up a 1989. 1989. The one I skipped was an American Samoa. Got a big spot on it. I'll dump it in my quarter bucket and spend it. Bo. 2009 DC. Pretty one. Nice looking coin there. Let's see how many of those you have and try to eliminate some of those for you. Let's see. Taco John. Taco John now. How about a 1984? That's got to be kind of difficult to get. Nice Ronald. I like the California one too. I think it has a Yosemite Mountains on it. Yosemite. Or maybe it just has a representation of gold. Finding gold back in 1848 there. Here's Sir Egg. Sir Egg now with West Virginia. West Virginia for Sir Egg. Got a little more than a dozen left here. Next one up, Richard. Richard gets Iowa. Iowa for Richard. Next in, Crispy. Crispy with U.S. Virgin Islands. I'll have to let you know that the reveals that I owe you for this past week will be done next week after I return. There will be no reveal show tomorrow. I'll be on the road to Florida to help work on cleanup from Hurricane Ian. Angie gets Colorado Statehood Quarter proof. This one I'm going to leave in there for Paul, because it's a District of Columbia, but it is nicely toned at the top. You can't see toning well on this camera, but on this one you should be able to see the color, at least, up toward the top. I don't know, it doesn't show up really well. Alright, next up, Sureg with Nevada. Nice colorful Nevada State Quarter. And Stanley, State of Kansas. 1861 came into the Union right as the Civil War began. Taco John with American Samoa, or the American Samoa. Carl, how about 1992? Nice looking 1992 proof quarter. Next up, Roger. Well, District of Columbia. Next up, Carl. Carl pulls a 1990. 1990 is a year where there could be a really nice double die obverse on your coin. Let's see. I only got about a half dozen left. So here's one for Bo Palmer and West Virginia. I'll have to go through and work on those duplicates for Bo. And Crispy with an Iowa. An Iowa for Crispy. Got next, Wanda. Well, Wanda I know has gotten U.S. Virgin Islands before, and this is probably a triplicate for her, so I will make sure and pull and replace for Wanda. Mary comes up next. Mary gets a 2006. This is South Dakota. South Dakota proof. Actually, it needs to go in the other box. Come on. There we go. Stuck that one in the wrong place. Okay, Richard. I'm going to pull that out. That's a Duke Ellington. How about Massachusetts, Richard? Massachusetts. Try to get some other states in here for next time. Another one for Richard. This time, South Carolina. South Carolina for Richard. And I have a grand total of... Oh, there's some back in the corner. Okay, so I have a grand total. I'm going to go ahead and stack these up and just start going off one after the other. And the bag is empty. No more bonuses left. Yep, got all 5 of the bonus chips. So, Crispy. Up next, Maryland. Next up, Carl. Washington. Big auction coming up tonight, people. Don't miss it. We're going to call it a charity auction just for the sake of having something to call it, and that's kind of what it is. I got a Missouri quarter for Richard Sappington, Missouri, and the Lewis and Clark Exposition 1804, called the Corps of Discovery. Another Duke Ellington I'm going to pull out. Nevada I'll pull out. Samoa I'll pull out. Another Nevada. Another Samoa. Okay, here's one. This one ought to work for you. Ronald, Minnesota. How about a Minnesota for Ronald? That one I'll pull. All right, Kelly, Missouri. Missouri for Kelly. That's only second Missouri I've pulled today, so I know it's not a duplicate. All right, Mr. Fletcher. Not the last, but next to it. Nevada Statehood. I'm trying not to pull too many duplicates for people. And last but not least, Mary and Minnesota. Mary and Minnesota. If I have duplicates in this, folks, I will work on pulling them and getting a different quarter in there, unless you specify that you don't want me to remove duplicates. Then I won't. But for most people, this will be an exercise in trying to get as many different coins as you can. So, I appreciate it, folks. You guys have been wonderful to me. Make sure you show up at the auction this evening. We got a bunch of really nice coins coming up, and I definitely want you to be sure to tune in and at least watch the auction. Participate, have fun with your friends. And that's all I have for now. I'll see you in, see, what is it, about 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours for the auction. I appreciate it, folks. You guys have a great afternoon, and I will see you then. There won't be any broadcast for the coming week because I'll be in Florida the entire week. So this evening's auction is the only time we'll be able to chat before I leave for Florida. So I'll talk to you later. Okay, Ronald, I appreciate it. I'll talk to you folks later.